Good afternoon, and welcome to UCEA nominee interviews. This is Emma Taylor, graduate research assistant and doctoral student at UCEA headquarters at Michigan State University. I am here today to interview Dr. Vanessa De Leon as a part of her candidacy for the UCEA Executive Committee. Today, listeners will be hearing from Dr. De Leon, Associate Professor, Texas Tech University. Her research interests include school leadership, school reform, English learners, and special education, with a focus on using law and policy to build access for underserved populations. Welcome, Dr. De Leon.
Thank you, Emma.
Let's begin with the first question. Please tell us about your background and your scholarship as it relates to leadership preparation and practice.
Well, first of all, I'd like just to take the time to say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity and the consideration to serve on UCA's executive committee. I value the opportunity to be here today. And thank you for that introduction. So, as an associate professor with Texas Tech University and a practicing school attorney, I've had the privilege of serving over 100 school district partners. The partnerships have covered states like Texas, New Mexico, and Louisiana. The work has entailed promoting research via the alignment of policies, laws, and practice. Within these partnerships, I've collaborated with school leaders from school superintendents, principals, district administrators, teachers, to school boards and state education agencies in efforts to identify essential and reoccurring problems of practice with the focus on solving these problems using current research and grant federal and state sponsorships. So I believe that some of this background directly relates to UCA's mission and vision in promoting, sponsoring, and disseminating research that's focused on helping school leaders improve these problems of practice. Along the same lines, in alignment to UCA's mission, I've been in this line of work for over 30 years, helping improve the preparation of aspiring school leaders through our Masters of Education program and our educational doctorate degree. Further, I've continually have provided the professional development within Texas and neighboring states, focused on improving student achievement for the most vulnerable populations, for the underserved populations. The work has allowed me the ability to positively influence local, state, and national educational policy. Yeah, in relation to the vision and UCA's vision, my work has focused in an effort to help transform schools for a more equitable and I would say socially just outcome for each child, for each student, whether it's within the classroom, within the schoolhouse, within the boardroom, or the courthouse. I think it's really really important to work closely as we support these underserved populations, in particular with the concerns that are happening right now within our federal government and political climate. So in essence, I believe that my background and my work closely aligns to UCA's mission and vision.
Thank you for that response, Dr. De Leon. You've served for several years as a plenary session representative. Tell us about your engagement in UCEA's governance.
Well, first of all, and thank you for that, Emma. First of all, Texas Tech University is still fairly new, right, within the UCA world. UCA was something that we had aspired for several years. So it did take a bit, a couple of school years for us to work together, to collaborate, to be able to initiate our application. I had the opportunity to be highly involved and lead in the drafting of our application. So when we received notice that we were full members, that was definitely a celebration to be part of this well-known organization that focuses on equitable outcomes for all students. So with that said, I am the first PSR for Texas Tech University. And it's certainly been a privilege learning, and a lot of it has been learning from our executive committee and learning more about UCA's governance. Shortly after the college nominated me as the UCA Plenum representative, I had the privilege, right, of working alongside other PSRs, kind of to help me better understand UCA's vision and mission. And my first step was really to help align our own program practices, what we were doing within our college and within our programs to better align to UCA's mission and vision. So through my own education within these past 3 years, I've been learning about UCA's long-term organizational goals and policies and how they influence educational leadership. So I've been that catalyst, I guess, that has been able to communicate expectations of UCA with our college, with our dean, and with our faculty. So it's been my personal mission as a UCA PSR to help strengthen our relationships also with our practitioners at the local level and also at the state level by staying connected to our multiple school district partners, to our state educational agencies, and the organizations that support statewide faculty networks in our efforts to continue to bridge the policy to practice and support of PK through 20.
Thank you. In what other ways have you been engaged in UCEA?
Well, in several ways. It certainly, as I said earlier, that it's been a learning process. We're really, really excited to be accepted as a full member. And once we were accepted, that was a hurdle in itself, trying to get through application and leading that work. So once we had the privilege of being a full member in UCA, I was able to engage by serving as a reviewer for a couple of our UCA journals. I understand the value of disseminating scholarship and discourse on the teaching and learning of leadership and helping really build some of these practices from the ground up, right? Through serving as a reviewer for some of our UCA sponsored journals. I think secondly, what really speaks to me and really speaks to the heart and in our community was helping establish our Jackson and Clark Scholar Program. That's probably been one of the areas that I've been most proud of. This is something that, being the first PSR for Texas Tech University, this was something that we had to establish within our own program in our own college in our own house, just kind of how we were going to go about for the identification and the vetting of our Jackson and Clark scholars, to then secondly providing the mentorship to our in-house Jackson and Clark scholars, but then also being involved in the mentorship of other Jackson and Clark scholars from other universities and throughout the state. So certainly that has been a privilege and an honor to get to contribute to the mentoring of our Jackson and Clark scholars. I believe that's like, the heart of UCA there, the work that's done. I mean, a number of our executive members have been former Jackson and Clark scholars. I didn't have that privilege, but certainly now that I've been a PSR, I've embraced that opportunity to guide, to nurture, and to mentor. The future of higher ed within our Jackson and Clark Scholar programs. I think, the other areas as I'm thinking about this is leading as a liaison for our own program. That was a lot of it being new, right? So kind of coming in and getting informed through our executive committee and learning about UCA's initiatives and governance, from now being a full member to before just, being a participant, right? And then communicating those initiatives, within, with our dean, with our college administrators and faculty to help improve our own program and goals, and better align to UCA's own policies and expectations. So that's definitely been a lot of learning early on, and certainly have enjoyed being that facilitator within our college. And then I think, I would also say continually fostering faculty and student involvement for our UCA program, by encouraging faculty as we're working together to integrate some of these practices for the betterment of our program that have been communicated to me as a PSR, right, through our executive committee as we've learned more about governance and how to improve some of our own practices.
Thank you. Please discuss with us your scholarship, research projects, teaching, and/or service that can inform the work of UCEA, particularly the work of the executive committee.
Well, in relation to my scholarship is truly based on outreach and engagement, by continually serving as that collaborator, that connector, that continually advocates for our underrepresented communities. As a first generation US citizen and college, first generation college graduate, it has been my mission to help create and foster opportunities for the most vulnerable, including our economically disadvantaged students, our immigrants, our refugees, our emergent bilingual and special education students. I've had the privilege within my scholarship of using my platform as a tenured faculty professor, a new tenured faculty professor to advocate for the most vulnerable student populations through my scholarship within outreach and engagement. In terms of research projects, a number of my research projects have aligned to my scholarship, helping our communities, both within rural and urban, create that pipeline of aspiring principals that are rooted in advocating for the most vulnerable student populations, from learning how to advocate within their schools, by using policy, law, and research to conducting case studies and studying the work based on improving educational opportunities and equity driven work. My experience as a former high school principal, as a former bilingual ESL director, and federal program director, has allowed me also the firsthand experience to understand the challenges within our communities, and therefore engage in research projects that directly speak to the work that is currently happening within our communities, and the challenges our aspiring leaders have in creating equitable opportunities, in particular, during this political climate for our most vulnerable populations. In terms of teaching, I truly am a teacher at heart, whether I'm teaching my master's students, working towards their principal certification, coaching as a faculty coach within the field, the principal interns or superintendent interns, or delivering my law and policy curriculum as a practicing attorney that practices within the field and then able to make those connections within the classroom as I work with my doctoral students, aspiring to have that school superintendent role. My goal as an educator and a teacher is to plant these mustard seeds within each aspiring leader to help create a more equitable tomorrow, for the most vulnerable students. In terms of service, my service has included providing job embedded staff development specifically within underperforming schools. These are the schools where you find the most vulnerable students. There's schools that are failing through the federal and state accountability system. Majority of these schools have over 75% economically disadvantaged. Helping educators break cycles of poverty by providing service that creates these more equitable opportunities through this job embedded or talks, right, within these highly at need, underperforming and failing schools to help create opportunities and break cycles of poverty within the schools. The other way that I've used my service is also providing legal guidance as a practicing school attorneys to families of special needs students. That's something that's also near and dear to my heart. And families who are struggling and are not receiving the appropriate FAPE, free appropriate public education. So I think that, as tenured associate professor now, I'm just really using my platform for the benefit of my community as something that has been a pillar to my work. And further, that has also taken me to organizing partnerships with our local and state education agencies focused on similar equity-driven initiatives. I truly believe that my experience, knowledge, skills, and drive can be a resource for our UCA executive committee, within both my scholarship and also as a practicing attorney that understands the ins and outs of laws and how they're currently, yes, impacting our most vulnerable students.
Thank you. Please share the reasons why you have chosen to run for the executive committee and your vision for the future of UCEA.
I think there's multiple reasons, I think, but the one that really resonates with me is just the concerns that are happening at the federal level with our federal government and this current political climate. Um, Really, wanting to run and be part of this of our UCA's executive committee, really seek to be able to bring in, I guess, a unique set of skills, as a practicing school attorney and also as a former school administrator, and using my scholarship to help advance the mission and vision of UCA. I want to support the work by once again better understanding our own UCA systems and then helping develop these state level strategies to continue to help educate, to continue to help advocate for education within our own local communities, within the local level, and within also our own educator preparation programs to help impact at the state and federal level. Within the vision, right, and future of UCA, I would really hope that the work will help us disseminate our scholarship, which I believe that we're really strong in scholarship, but likely an area to help us work on or improve is helping disseminate that work to help the practitioners, the teachers, the principals, the boots on the ground. Transform our schools to create more equitable opportunities for the most vulnerable student populations.
Thank you for your time and thoughtful responses, Dr. De Leon.
Thank you, Emma.
This interview will be archived on the UCEA YouTube channel. Listeners can access or share the interview at any time. We also encourage listeners to post comments and questions on this interview in the comments section. Thank you and goodbye.